Hi, my name is Luis Garcia, and I'm a distributor of Sendot cars. I actually work a home business. What I'm going to cover here today is the 8 stages of a sale. A lot of the things that I touch on today can really be applied to any home business or to anyone who's in sales for that matter, although it is geared to our Sendot cars distributors. And what I want to talk about is the 8 stages of a sale and how a lot of my distributors likes to mix them up and combine these steps when they should be done individually, and you should know exactly what it is that you're trying to do when you're talking to someone. And the first step of the process is called the verification process, or what we call verify. At this stage, you can verify warm and cold leads, and it's where we find our people. And let's give you some examples. If you were at a network marketing event, you're there to verify most of the time. And what you want to do is basically leave with their full contact information and a handshake. Some of the things that you can say as far as in the verification process, let's say if you're talking to a realtor, you can ask them, hey, I have something that will bring value, sales, and referrals to your business. Can I send you something in the mail? And 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a yes to that, and you're trying to gauge if the person's friendly or not, and more importantly, you want their contact information. Now, when you verify a warm lead, let's say you're at a party. Sometimes we get into a home business and we get so excited about the product and about the opportunities, and we just want to say too much. And 9 times, out of 10, we are saying too much. So you want to really tone it down in 2011 and make sure that you're processing your leads all the way through. So a warm lead verification, let's say if you were at a cocktail party, at a party or a Christmas event, and you're talking to an old cousin, and that cousin says, hey, by the way, what are you doing today? You can say things like, well, I'm glad you asked. I have something that I'm working on that's bringing me some little extra money. Can I tell you a little bit more about it, or maybe send you something in the mail? At that time, what you want to think about is getting their contact information. You could say things like, as a matter of fact, I want to update my contact manager. Can you give me your address? Because basically, again, you want to leave with the address and a handshake. That's it, and that's what we call verification. This is also a chart. You can go ahead and put their name right here. Let's say if it was Maria I was talking to, I would go ahead and check her name off, and I just went ahead and verified her. The next step, again, it's going to be record. At some point, you're going to have to get rid of that business card or get rid of that scratched piece of paper and actually record your lead digitally. At Sendot Cars, of course, we have one of the best contact management systems. So the recording process is pretty simple. Sit down at your desk and go ahead and input that lead. Now, the reason I separate the two is sometimes we can go verify at an event, leave there with a pocket full of business cards or some names, and we don't really have time to record, but you want to make sure that you're tracking every lead. So again, you input them into your contact manager, you can go ahead and check off that box. You've just recorded that lead. Go ahead and toss the business cards, or keep them for that matter. The next logical step will be to send. You want to send them something, a gift, a greeting card, a simple thanks, nice to meet you, with a subtle, I like to include here in the send process, I like to include a picture maybe of their line of work, if they're in realty, or if they're in photography, or if they're into birds. Send them something that they can identify. Make sure you send them a card, hey, nice to meet you, and you go ahead and connect with them in that way. Go ahead and check off that box. Now, in the process of the invitation, it's basically to set up an appointment. You want to follow up with that lead maybe 7 days later, and you want to say, hey, how did you like the card? What are you doing this Friday? You're basically trying to set up the appointment. On the verification, you can also do it on the phone as well. You're calling people on the phone, and you're calling business cards. Hey, I found your business card. I have something of value and something that could bring referrals to your business. Can I send you something in the mail? Verification. The invite's a little different because you're strictly there to get the appointment. And if you think about these things prior to making the phone call, it's going to make your life a lot easier. The invitation, how did you like that card? Listen, I'm going to be in town on Friday. It's going to take about 30 minutes. I'd love to show you how I sent it. I'd love to show you how the system is helping my business. That's the invitation. Get the date. Get the time. Do not try to present. Just get the appointment. Okay, so then once you get the appointment, you go ahead and check that off. Sometimes they're not in front of their calendars. No big deal. You do the follow-up call and get the appointment. The appointment for the presentation, of course, the presentation could be done in a variety of ways. It's very important, again, that you follow these steps and that you chart yourself. The presentation, we can sit down and I can kind of explain to you how do I present my product, how do I present my service, and some people do it better than others. There's phone presentations, there's in-person presentations, but this presentation, you have to be ready to do it. Don't try to do it at a party or don't try to do it at a networking event. Make sure you have the person's undivided attention when you're going to go ahead and present. The next logical step is the close. Now, at some step in this whole process, you're going to have to close. Not many people like to talk about that, but at some step of the process, you have to close. And what I mean by that is you have to put the person and give them a choice. Now, in the presentation, you're going to go do the ways to get started and all of those things without the pressure of joining. What I failed to mention in the presentation, I like to do the presentation and let them know that there's nothing to buy, nothing to join at that time. It's just a presentation for them to absorb. When I see if I have an opportunity to try to close during the presentation, I will, or I can close at a further date. What I mean by closing is a follow-up call, and then you're going to say things like, what can I do to get you started right now? Another one I like to say for the closing is, hey, I'm going to be putting up some, I'm going to be training some distributors over the weekend and setting up some websites. Do you want to be part of that team? Again, that's a closing statement. You're going to gauge where they are and you're going to record that. Whether it's, I don't have enough money right now, or I need to see it further. You want to make them jump from presentation to close. And you want to go ahead and check that off, write down in your notes what were the reasons, and that way you can follow up at a later date. Now, the follow-up, I have it at the end because basically a lot of these things are part of follow-up as well, and you're doing follow-up in between. And of course, you've got train. Now, let's not mix this up with what Send.Cars has as the Daily 8. The Daily 8 is actually 8 things that you should be doing daily. A lot of these things are things that you can score points and score and track yourself. One of the things that the Daily 8 does have you do is to work on personal development. So you can get points and track yourself through the Daily 8, the Send.Cars Daily 8, by doing a little bit personal development and by attending events. And you know, we're really heavy on tracking, so you want to make sure again that you have some kind of tracking system and some kind of check boxes, things that you have to do to go ahead and process that lead. And you want to, if you haven't checked out the Send.Cars Daily 8 system and how to track yourself and how to score yourself, I suggest that you do get on some calls, call your upline, and ask them about the Daily 8 system. Maybe all of us can take the 72-hour challenge once again. I hope this helps. I'll see you later.